So all the fun stuff goes into the data just to kind of back this up. So knowing this, again, showing clients, showing brands, knowing that Asians, again, only make 6% of the audience, and yet we see from moviegoers, they slightly over-index, but they're on par. But what we do see is that after Hispanics at 4.7, Asians are actually the next highest in terms of attendance for movie going. So really knowing that their high attendance is really also driving the movie industry as well, so it's definitely a group to pay attention to. And not to mention as well that Asians are the fastest growing audience, so knowing that this is going to continue in the next 10, 20, 30 years. On top of it though, what we find is that from 2017 to 2019, we still see that Asians, 1 and 2, are saying they still want and demand more representation and would actually turn out to theaters for on-screen and behind-the-screen Asian talent. So right after the storyline, of course right after the genre, Asians are really wanting and really demanding for more characters, more culture represented, and also more director, producers, and writers behind the camera as well. So that's not just to say though, let's just throw any Asian and let's just have something just to pander and speak to this group. Of course not. We want to make sure that, and we asked a ton of Asians within our panel, well, how do you feel about all these things? What would be the reasons for not attending? And we think back to a lot of different movies where they did not turn out. Of course, they don't like the stereotyping. They don't like the whitewashing. And of course, what even more important as well is knowing that when you have Asian culture, you got to make sure it's represented well. You need to have the people behind it who could actually explain the culture and be there authentically to ensure that the storyline is there. And of course, too, just knowing that Asians typically, we have seen them in the past as supporting characters. We would like to see them more in a more main role or leading man, leading woman role. So appealing to Asians in their community is also the most effective way to speak to them, kind of differently, and actually I know this is kind of intuitive, but to some degree we wanted to ask this because we've seen from other groups, so Hispanic families and Hispanic moviegoers, they actually are willing to go to movies if their kids are the one actually driving it. But this was not actually the case. This was definitely like Asians as the decision makers when it comes to movies. It's really important for them to be spoken to. So, you know, when we talk to our studios and when we talk to other folks, it's really about making sure that you're speaking directly to them, that you're ensuring that there's cultural relevance and resonance with your messaging, with your creative to ensure that they buy in. Because again, if you have a trailer that doesn't speak to them or it's pandering or it's just stereotypical, like, they're not going to turn out for that. Or if they do, they're going to talk a ton of crap about it, right, on other media channels and other ways. So when it comes to actually reaching them, where should you reach them? We know that they're very, very, very heavy with digital, and we've seen this across the board. And in fact, when we looked into what they're consuming, they're actually the most likely to be cord cutters. They're the most likely to stay away from sort of the linear TV, and they're actually just always on digital. So it's all about being online, finding out about things from an awareness of movies and entertainment from their friends, their family. It's also about what's popular on social media. So they also are very much trendy trendsetters as well. They very much want to know what's been going on, and so they very much learn from that. And lastly, of course, from websites or blogs that they might be perusing. So really, this all tells you that it's really key to also know their passion points, knowing like where they were, the spaces that they're at. So really finding that key in order to speak to them authentically and accurately.